Welcome back, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me for part 5 of this What If. Or if you're new here or missed a part, or if this is your first time even seeing the channel and you're wanting to catch up, there's a playlist link down below. Go check it out. I promise you will want to catch up before hopping into this episode, as we are starting very heavily off with spoilers for the last part. This, for me, has just genuinely been just such a fun project to write and edit and everything. And I hope you all are enjoying even the smallest of details, just as I have. And if you have, I hate doing this, but usual YouTube crap. Like, subscribe, share around, hype. It genuinely does help get the channel promoted. I hate saying it. I hate doing it. I know you hate hearing it. Let's move on. Before we get out of the intro, however, I do just want to say I am still working on support. There may even be a Ko-fi link below by the time this video goes live. I'm still trying to figure that out. But with that all out of the way, let's just get straight back into this What If. I'm very excited, and I hope you all are too. Alrighty, so we left off last time with, where did we leave off last time? And, oh right, Emerald is alive with free will. There was also the whole encounter with Neo Metal Amy turning into Metal Empress and all for What If's christened Amy Heroes. And we even skimmed over the events of Advance 3 and Shadow the Hedgehog some. Let's just get right into it. Not long after Advance 3, something strange happens. Amy notices Eggman's on the move over something new this time. Well, not entirely new, but still. She sees the Doctor obsessing over some new kind of gem he's got in his hands, trying to harness its energies for more like it. Amy, realizing immediately that this only means trouble, sneak attacks him, causing him to not only be defeated pretty quickly, but also dropping the gem in shock before a quick scuffle to get back the gem. He backs off quickly, as he was so heavily damaged that it basically was just an instant defeat, saying something about having already gotten the energy readings he needed to pursue the others, and just needing to find the rest now. Amy sighed heavily before looking at the gem she had caught in her hands. Seems Eggman just never gives up. But I do wonder what's up with this gem. She is about to leave the area in the forest to bring it to Tails when all of a sudden someone suddenly appears and demands the Soul Emerald from Amy. Amy turns, and in front of her now stands a regal looking cat. One who has a very serious expression on her face. Amy, more perplexed than ever, asks who the girl is, and Blaze introduces herself as the Princess of the Soul Empire and Guardian of the Soul Emeralds, with what Amy has now being one of the 6 she needs to get back to her dimension. It's a lot to take in, but Amy's hesitant. She wants to know Blaze some more first before committing to anything, asking to talk some to explain what's going on. But this merely makes the princess lash out. Flames begin to billow around them. I said to give me the Soul Emerald. They are only safe with me, and I will not allow anyone to defile my kingdom's sacred duty. The cat's temper scared Amy silent, unmoving. She didn't expect such a temper from her, let alone the firepower she had. The fear in her eyes clearly strikes something in Blaze's heart, who stiffens before releasing the flames and apologizing. After a long silence, she asks again for the emerald in her hand. Amy, relenting, gives it to the girl, though she still tries to talk. She tries to talk about anything, but before she even can, Blaze, ignoring her, turns and dashes off, flames propelling her at speeds almost, if not as fast as Sonic or Shadow, only stunning Amy more in the process. I think I would have preferred dealing with Sonic. She mutters this to herself in a very confused, mortified daze over the interaction. Amy, after finally collecting herself after a few minutes, quickly heads to Spagonia, where Tails had actually started attending university, though she's still in a much more grim state, and now he is too. Apparently, he had detected a lot of dimensional instability, and that if it isn't stopped soon, all of reality could collapse. This only causes Amy's head to spin further, with her on the verge of fainting just from everything that's happened in the past few hours. First it was just Eggman finding some new gem, then Blaze and her fiery personality and powers, and now this? The whole ordeal takes its toll on Amy's mind more than it would have Sonic's in this situation. Tails, thankfully, had a radar for some of the anomalies made, and it was currently picking up 8 in total, though several were already clumped together. Amy went out in search of both the anomalies and the Chaos Emeralds, seeing that they might be needed, only to find at the place where most of the anomalies were was Blaze, talking to Cream of all people. Cream, noticing Amy approaching, perked up with her big wide eyes and bunny-like ears, and greeted her. Blaze didn't hear the name before, but now turning to see the pink hedgehog, the princess went from cheerful and lax to tense and frustrated. Amy could tell she didn't want to deal with her, and if she were honest, after their last interaction, for once, Amy felt the same. Still, it was in Amy's nature to reach out. Amy never wanted to give up on anyone after all. Even if that meant going against someone who, against all the odds, was her diametric opposite. Finally figuring out what's going on, Amy kindly waved and asked Blaze if they could just talk. She knows there's some pressing issues, but Amy wants to get to know this strange pyrokinetic cat and help her out. At first, Blaze is reluctant and resilient even, but with Cream easing her up and being so kind to her, she becomes more relaxed again and the three begin to chat. It's very awkward and tense for the two in particular, however, given the previous interaction, but Amy is still sure she can get through to her. They chat about just a lot of things, from Amy's passions to Blaze's sense of duty over the Soul Emeralds and her kingdom as a whole. But the awkward tension sadly never leaves. Cream notices and tries to help as much as she can to break the ice, but she's unable to, as this ice might as well be unmeltable with any flame. Eventually, after talking for a few hours, Blaze finally realizes how much time has actually passed and tenses up even further. All of this talking was taking up precious moments away from her that she needed to save her kingdom, save the relics that could save her world, and she was furious. She brushes the two off suddenly and coldly before saying that she needed to find the other Soul Emeralds and darting off of her flames once more. Amy, for all the conversations they had, only learned sparse things about the cat in the time they had spoken together. That she is from another dimension, that supposedly there's another Eggman on the loose who seems to be from her dimension as well, and that the Soul Emeralds are sounding a lot like the Chaos Emeralds. With all of this in mind, she sets out to help Blaze, even if it caused her to bump into the princess under less than favorable circumstances again, to put it mildly. And they do encounter each other again, as well as both Eggman and Eggman Nega. Amy notes, however, that Nega isn't picked up by the anomalies, in spite of claiming he's from the Soul Dimension like with Blaze. He seems to be genuinely separated to them, only making this more intriguing to the Hedgehog. She also notes how Nega is going after the Chaos Emeralds instead of the Soul Emeralds, and seemingly knows more about them than the Soul Emeralds that he should know about instead. All confusing everyone in the process when Amy makes this realization known. They don't have too much time to think on it, however, as all of the events loosely follow canon. Amy goes after Eggman Nega and defeats him in several boss fights. Blaze goes after Eggman and defeats him in several boss fights. They go through similar zones, they meet similar characters, and in the end, eventually through everything, it all comes back to a head on deadline. Blaze now having all of the Soul Emeralds and Amy having all of the Chaos Emeralds both arrive at the exact same time to confront both Eggman and Nega. However, before they could, Amy stops Blaze once again. Hey, we need to take them on together if we're going to have a chance. After every single interaction before this, after every single time that Amy has genuinely tried to reach into Blaze's heart, only to delay her further and further from finally fulfilling her goal, her mission of saving her kingdom, Blaze snaps, barking that she doesn't have to or need to help, and that she doesn't need her help at all and never will, even if it means carrying the whole world on her shoulders. Amy yells back that nobody can handle that, that nobody could ever handle that, and that everybody needs a compassionate shoulder to lean on, even her. Blaze silently merely ignites the flames in one of her hands, while Amy readies her hammer, both preparing to fight. Unlike their first meeting, however, it's clear that Amy intends to fight. She isn't hesitating anymore. With everything out in the open, and the two silently staring each other down in deadline, they begin to battle, though even calling it that would be generous. For all of Blaze's flames, for all of her strength, for all of her acrobatic skills and her genuine speed, Amy's pure, raw strength and power overwhelmed the princess, her hammer cutting through the flames and striking true. Shortly after the battle begins, Amy's already won it. Much faster than Sonic did in canon, and without also having a nice fall or something like that. Blaze is slammed to the ground in defeat, barely clinging on to any sense of pride she can. I don't get it. How can I fail them? Fail them all. She's genuinely on the verge of tears in spite of being beaten. And then Amy offers her hand. There's a difference between failing to do something and having help. Blaze, finally looking up at the hedgehog, takes Amy's words at face value and sees that she is right. Asking why she's always tried to help her. Asking why she's always tried to reach out to help. She's a princess. She shouldn't need the help after all. Amy merely smiled at the other girl, in spite of all of this. I'm just a compassionate free soul. Her answer was short and sweet, and came with a wink. Blaze shook her head before finally accepting Amy's hand with a smirk. There was still a lot of talking needing to be done. But for now, they both agreed that taking down the two Eggmen and preventing ruin was top priority. Tragically, however, even with how brief the fight was compared to canon, Eggman still kidnaps Creams and threatens to end the girl. Amy and Blaze are shocked at the depravity of the move and team up. Amy making quick work of Nega only to see Blaze struggling with Eggman proper. Before the Egg Salamander could drain the power of the Soul Emeralds, however, Amy swaps over, blocking the blow with her hammer. You finish Nega. I'll handle Eggman. Amy then goes silent and taps into the power of the Chaos Emeralds, going into Super Amy once more. Blaze, seeing the form, and hearing Amy's words ringing out in her head once more, she finally realizes. She realizes that the support she's received over the years, from just even simple people like Gardon, genuinely has affected her. And finally, she accepts it. She accepts it all. And with this acceptance, she is finally able to use the Soul Emeralds to enter Burning Blaze, finally entering her own super form and being able to take down Eggman Nega just as Eggman himself is defeated. However, both notice something strange. Nega isn't sent to Blaze's dimension when things start to unravel. He's sent somewhere else, blown back by Blaze so hard that nobody knows where he went. It only serves to confuse the two, as they were already confused by what was going on with him in the first place, and now with this, Amy had suspicions they was lying about his origins all along. But with both Eggmans defeated and both in their super forms, the dimensional distortion finally began to heal. Blaze looked to Amy one more time with a genuine heartfelt smile. Care to help me one last time? I don't think I can get home on my own. She chuckled and sounded almost bashful, and Amy couldn't help but chuckle back. The two channeled their powers, restoring the dimensions similar to the scene in canon, with them separating Blaze from this world once again. For now, at least. After all of this, Amy makes sure Cream is okay and takes her back to Vanilla. The two reunite at Vanilla's house in a loving embrace, and everything seems to be wrapping up. She then goes to check in with her little brother Tails to make sure everything is truly done, and he confirms that the dimensions are finally stable once again. That everything is over, for now at least. And with that, we've officially covered what could now be called Amy Rush, or just Rush, as I would hear. I originally wanted to skip over a lot of this, but I had a lot to say on Blaze, as you could tell. Especially because, with this next part, we're going to need someone whose world is going to need to have a lot of changes. This next part is going to be the longest one yet. This next part is going to be quite the treat. And with that, the video is over. As mentioned at the beginning, if you liked it all, you all know what to do. I'm not gonna restate it here. You all know what to do. Genuinely, if you watched this far, if you genuinely have just watched all the way through to the very end, from the bottom of my heart, as heartfelt as I can be, thank you for reaching this point. Just given everything. It genuinely baffles me that people want to just continue listening to me ramble about this silly little story that I wrote up about Amy swapping with Sonic, but it genuinely is something that I feel has a lot of purpose, and I really hope that you're all looking forward to 06, because I have a lot planned with it. From major change after major change. A lot is going to change in Part 6. And it's going to be quite the confusing and convoluted ride. And I hope you all enjoy it. And with that, have a good day, week, night, month, rest of the year, whatever. Happy New Year also. This should be coming out around January-ish. Don't know if it'll be early or mid or even into February. But hope you're all just have a great time. I hope to see you all again sometime soon.